Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep into a stack of sources today, all focused on the absolute cutting edge of AI and video creation.
Right. This tech is moving incredibly fast.
It really is.
Mm.
And our sources introduce two pretty powerful new tools making serious waves. Google's new AI filmmaking tool, Flow, that's powered by VO, Imagen, Gemini, and Runway's Gen 3 Alpha.
Spot on. We've got the Google blog post introducing Flow, highlighting VO and the others.
Mm-hmm.
Then Runway's post launching Gen 3 Alpha, detailing its features. And interestingly, an article from the Times of India that sort of captures the public reaction, especially around Google's VO3.
Yeah, that reaction piece is key.
Yeah.
So our mission today seems pretty clear. We want to figure out what these tools actually do,
Right.
how they're starting to shake up creative industries, filmmaking, marketing, design, freelance work,
Hmm.
all that. And crucially, what this could mean for jobs, for the future of creative work, especially here in the U.S.
It's really the fundamental question the sources grapple with. Do these tools replace human creators, or do they empower them?
Exactly.
And what should people already in these fields, or, students just starting out, what should they be thinking about right now to stay relevant?
Yeah, that's the core of it. This isn't just tech specs. It's about the future of storytelling, creativity itself. And it's sparking some, well, pretty serious debate already, as those sources show.
Definitely.
Okay, let's dive in. Let's meet these tools. So first up, Google's Flow. What exactly is Flow? What's under the hood?
Okay, so Flow is Google's new AI filmmaking tool. It's built specifically for creatives, custom designed to use Google's top AI models. The core idea is simple. You give it text or an image prompt.
And it generates video.
Exactly. It generates video content from that input.
And you mentioned the specific models, VO, Imagen.
Yes. 3 key ones work together in Flow. First is Google says it's their state-of-the-art generative video model.
State of the art, okay.
Yeah, they highlight its prompt adherence, the cinematic look, how it handles physics and realism. And a big deal here, VO3, which you get with their Ultra plan, apparently generates video with synchronized audio.
Wait, audio included?
Yeah.
Like dialogue, sound effects?
That's what the Google source claims. Dialogue, sound effects, even authentic ambient sounds, all synchronized and aiming for, narratively cohesive clips right from the start.
Wow, okay. Synchronized audio from the get-go. It feels like a massive step up from just silent visuals.
It really does. Then there's Imagen. That's Google's text-to-image model.
Right, for still images.
Yeah, Flow uses Imagen to help you create assets or ingredients like specific characters, objects, things you want to use consistently in your videos.
Ah, so you can define your elements.
Exactly. And Gemini models are running behind the scenes too, mainly to make prompting more intuitive. So you can describe your vision using, everyday language, not super technical jargon.
Okay, so generate video from text, create assets with Imagen, describe it easily with Gemini. What about actually making something? Consistency, editing within Flow.
The source really emphasizes flexibility and control. You can bring your own assets in or make them with Imagen and then use those ingredients consistently across different scenes.
Okay.
And you can even take a still image from one generated scene and use that to start the next shot, making sure it flows logically.
Interesting. And are there specific filmmaking features built in beyond just the basic generation?
Yes, they list several. Camera controls lets you directly influence camera movement, angles, perspective within the generated clip.
Nice.
There's Scene Builder. Think of it like being able to virtually extend a shot, like pan or zoom beyond the original frame, and the AI generates what would be there, keeping the motion and characters consistent.
Whoa, okay. That sounds powerful for editing and fixing shots.
Definitely. There's asset management, too, for organizing your stuff. And Flow TV, which is basically a showcase. You see clips made with VO.
And, crucially,
You see the prompts and techniques used, so you can learn how to get specific results by seeing how others did it.
that Flow TV idea is smart, like a built-in tutorial library. Is this available now? Can people in the U.S. try it?
Yeah, Flow grew out of an earlier experiment, Video FX. It's available now for Google AI Pro and Ultra subscribers in the US, with plans for more countries later. Pro has limits, Ultra has higher limits, and gets you that early access to VO3 with the native audio.
Got it. So that's Google's Play integrating their whole suite into a filmmaker-focused tool. Now, let's switch gears to Runway, Gen 3 Alpha. How's their approach different?
Runway is positioning Gen 3 Alpha as the first of their next generation of foundation models. They're stating it's a major leap from Gen 2, better fidelity, consistency, motion.
A big step up, then.
Yeah, they see it as moving towards what they call general world models. AI that sort of understands the world better, simulates physics more accurately.
And what's its main function? Still text to video?
Pretty much. It's trained on both videos and images. So it powers their text to video, image to video, and even text to image tools. And it works with their existing control features, like motion brush and advanced camera controls.
Okay. And where are they saying Gen 3 Alpha really shines? What are its standout features?
They're emphasizing a few things. One is fine-grained temporal control. Apparently, they trained it on really descriptive captions that detail changes over time very precisely.
Temporal control, so better timing. Transitions.
Exactly. More imaginative transitions, precise keyframing of elements within the shot. The other big one they're stressing is generating photorealistic humans.
Ah, the holy grail of AI video.
Kind of. They claim it excels at generating humans with a wide range of actions, gestures, emotions. They see this unlocking new storytelling possibilities that were, really tough before with AI.
Generating realistic, expressive people.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they've cracked that or even just significantly improved it, that's huge for anyone wanting to make narrative stuff.
Absolutely. Runway also makes a point that Gen 3 Alpha was designed for artists by a team including filmmakers and artists, not just AI researchers.
So build with the end user in mind.
Right. They trained it to understand artistic styles, cinematic terms, trying to make it grasp creative intent better.
That makes sense. Are they already working with industry folks, like studios?
Yes, they mentioned partnering with entertainment and media companies to create custom versions of Gen 3.
Custom versions, meaning?
Tailored for specific stylistic control, consistent characters for a particular show or film, meeting specific artistic or narrative needs that, say, a big studio might have.
Interesting. And what about safety? Deep fakes, misinformation. They addressing that. We hear those concerns a lot.
Yeah, Runway says Gen 3 Alpha comes with new safeguards, an improved internal visual moderation system, and they're using C2PA provenance standards.
C2PA. That's the content credential thing, right? Shows where an image or video came from?
Exactly. It attaches metadata to show origin, alterations. It's becoming a key standard for authenticity. So, yeah, both companies seem aware of the risks and are building in measures.
Okay, so two incredibly powerful new tools. Google Flow with VO3's audio, Runway Gen 3 Alpha with realistic humans and temporal control, both pushing video generation forward fast.
Right. Increasing control, consistency, realism.
Which brings us to the big question, the one the sources really dig into. What does this mean for the people who actually make videos? The filmmakers, the designers, the marketers, the freelancers here in the US and elsewhere. This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, this is why the debate heats up, and those reactions in the Times of India piece, they really show the split. On one side, you have the strong empowerment narrative.
Which is definitely the angle Google and Runway are pushing.
Totally. Google frames AI as this great enabler, helping a new wave of filmmakers tell stories, explore ideas without the usual budget or tech limits, take more creative risks. They really seem to believe it expands creative expression, gets powerful tools to more people, and Runway.
Similar vibe. Gen 3 Alpha unlocks new storytelling, especially with those realistic humans. And again, they stress it was designed for artists, allowing that customization for specific artistic needs.
And did the online chatter, the stuff the TOI article picked up on, reflect that optimism too?
Oh yeah, definitely. Some people commenting saw huge potential to, democratize content creation.
Democratize how?
Making complex scenes possible without huge resources. Opening up new ways to tell stories. One Reddit user quoted in the article envisioned a boom in indie movies and TV shows that could actually compete with big studios.
Wow, really?
Yeah, more self-published stuff on YouTube, maybe turning audiobooks into movies, things that just weren't feasible before for small creators. They even suggested it might be a bigger threat to the established, slower-moving studios than to agile indies.
Okay, that's the exciting side. Lower barriers, more voices, new kinds of content, maybe. But what's the flip side? The worry. The thing keeping creatives up at night. Well, the replacement fear is just as loud in those online reactions. There's real, palpable worry about job losses.
Straight up job loss.
Yeah. People see these tools automating tasks that skilled humans do now, especially in visual effects, animation, potentially other parts of production too.
So roles like VFX artists, concept artists, animators, maybe even 3D modelers or texture artists. those kinds of jobs.
That's exactly the fear being expressed. That same Reddit user who saw the indie potential, they also flat out said this is obviously a threat to the people that make movies now, crew, cast, makeup, special effects, etc.
Hmm.
They used analogies like digital cameras versus film developers, e-readers versus book printers, Photoshop changing graphic design, pointing to past tech disruptions.
That Photoshop analogy hits home for designers, I bet. But we've seen tech disrupt before. Why does this feel different, maybe? More threatening to some people?
I think the sources suggest it's the scope and the speed.
Mhm.
Past disruptions maybe automated specific tasks or replaced a medium. These AI tools are rapidly improving at generating complex creative outputs.
Not just one element, but the whole scene.
Right. A moving, consistent scene, potentially with dialogue, sound, the pace of improvement from kind of glitchy stuff to photorealistic humans and synced audio in just a few years feels, well, unprecedented to a lot of people.
Yeah, the speed is kind of scary.
It raises serious concerns about how quickly human skills could be devalued or just made redundant on a really large scale. And that's the core tension, isn't it? Amazing creative power versus very real fears about automation and careers.
Absolutely. So, knowing all this, the power of Flow with its audio and scene builder, Gen 3 Alpha's realistic humans in control, and this dual narrative of empowerment versus replacement. What's the takeaway for you listening right now, especially if you're a creative pro or maybe a student here in the U.S.?
Well, first, I think it's acknowledging that tension exists. It's real. These tools offer amazing creative possibilities, yes, but they do raise unavoidable questions about the future of human roles. It's not hypothetical anymore. It's impacting workflows and conversations now.
It feels like the way forward isn't ignoring them,
Yeah.
right? It's figuring out how to work with them, maybe make them allies.
Precisely. And the Google blog post actually gives us clues there. They highlight collaborations with filmmakers like Dave Clark, Henry Dobré, Junie Lau.
Right, established filmmaker.
Yeah, and they weren't replaced. They integrated the AI into their workflow. They talked about AI as a vital collaborator.
A collaborator, not a replacement.
Exactly. They weren't using it to just generate the final thing for them. They used it to enhance their vision, explore ideas faster, maybe try things that were too expensive or time-consuming before, take creative risks.
So maybe the key skill, especially for U.S. professionals and students, becomes learning how to direct these tools effectively. It's not just about clicking buttons.
Right.
It's about mastering the prompt, integrating the output, editing it, using the AI's power to achieve a more ambitious, human-led vision, guiding the AI, not being replaced by it.
That's it, exactly. Leveraging the automation for efficiency or to do things previously impossible, but keeping human creativity, taste, and vision front and center. It's another tool, albeit a hugely powerful and disruptive one, in the creative toolkit.
And we should probably also mention the other side of that coin, the ethical stuff that came up in the online discussions.
Yeah, absolutely. The TOI article mentioned worries about misuse, deepfakes, misinformation, and also potential legal headaches, especially for U.S. companies, around copyright, defamation, using AI-generated content responsibly.
That's a whole other layer professionals need to navigate. Understanding the potential for misuse, the ethics, the evolving legal side, it's becoming part of the job description almost.
It has to be. It's not just about can we create this, but should we, and how do we do it responsibly and legally?
Right.
And, you know, it's worth remembering what Google said. It's still early days. We don't fully grasp the long-term impact yet. Things will keep changing fast.
Okay, so let's quickly recap this deep dive. We've looked at Google's Flow, powered by VO3, with that synchronized audio, Imagen for assets, Gemini making prompting easier.
And Runway's Gen 3 Alpha, pushing realism with human generation, offering fine temporal control, really designed with artists in mind.
These are seriously powerful new tools, turning text or images into video that's getting more realistic, more controllable all the time. Huge potential for creativity, maybe democratizing content creation.
Enabling new kinds of stories, things that were out of reach for many before.
But, and it's a big but, as those reactions showed, they bring massive questions about job security, about the role of human skill in creative fields. It sparked this vital debate. Empowerment or replacement.
And it's clear these tools are already changing how video gets made, how it's even conceived.
Right. Which leaves you, our listener, with something pretty important to think about. As these AI video tools get better, cheaper, more common, what skills become the most valuable for creative professionals going forward?
Is it mastering the AI prompting and control? Is it excelling at that collaboration with AI, using it to amplify a unique human vision? Or
Yeah.
maybe it's finding entirely new forms of creativity, things these tools can't even touch yet.
That's the question, isn't it? It's a future we're all actively shaping right now, figuring out your place in that evolving landscape. But that seems like the critical next step.